Welcome to previous week's edition of Diaspora Connect on ITV Gold. I am Pia Jyoti Khatru, bringing you the latest on South Asian culture, achievements and community. Here are the headlines. This week with Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parekh, Navneet Sehgal, chairman of Prasar Bharati, presents Revolutionary Waves app at Indian Consulate in New York. Yoga and Vedic wisdom illuminate 21st century America at Bhakti Center. ITV Gold and Journal America launch Aram to celebrate Indian heritage in Edison. ISKCON's Gauranga Das Ji delivers enlightening talk on Dharma at ITV Gold in Edison. Stay with us on Vision of Asia for news in detail right after this short break. Padma Shri recipient Dr. Sudhir Parekh, chairman of Parekh Worldwide Media and ITV Gold, shared his insights on current global events. Take a look. Dr. Parekh, let's start today with the biggest news we have right now going on. That is the ICE raids in California, and the protest is going on right now. So I want to ask you, what's your assessment on that?
Well, I mean, a protester has right to protest for any subject or any issue, but cannot be violent. And once violence starts, then their whole agenda of protest and its meaning disappears. Then whole thing, narration or narrative, changes. And then you have now what happened is because of all this violence there, and throwing the stones and all those things, burning some car and burning of the stores and all those things, then that becomes prime news rather than the news of whether you can issue legally or illegally can arrest the people. So I think actually they are loser, and I think partly probably you can blame the leaders, Democratic Party leaders, particularly the mayor of Los Angeles, and those people, they were instigating it. It means they were saying the speeches which indirectly kind of feeding kind of frenzy. So I think any protests are all welcome, but no violence is welcome. And once you start violence, then government has a right to crack it down, because they cannot let it go unchecked.
So now what I'm thinking, my question to you is are we getting into a dangerous territory? Trump deploys National Guard to stop this LA immigration protests and defying California governor. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, I think because California governor should put their police into action, because the police is authority of the governor. But if governor does not act to make it non-violent, then president has all right to do whatever he has to do to protect the properties and other people those who are not protesting. He has to protect them.
All right. So let's move on from there to Russia and Ukraine. We are seeing continued counter attacks between the two. So where does this stop, and does peace have a chance here?
Well, I think probably it's unfortunate thing that this kind of to and fro violence of skirmish or bombarding is not good, and always it can hurt the negotiation. But luckily, I think what I heard that still negotiations are going on. And I think both party, both the country, they are trying to do best for last few days, and then they hope to get the better negotiating power.
You're talking about negotiations, and for us, trade negotiations are going on between U.S. and China. So do you see this deal getting closer?
I think so, but this deal is not that simple. It's a very complicated deal in a sense that not only the percentage of the tariff and all those things, but how the China makes the goods, what is their supplier link, and where they send, and how they come from China to Vietnam to USA. All those things USA wants to stop. because otherwise China can get away with the least amount of tariff, because certain countries we are not putting any tariff, like Vietnam or Cambodia or those kind of bad countries. So I think it will happen, but it will be long. It will take a few months. So, and always this kind of negotiation is not easy at all.
And let's talk about like boys will be boys. We were predicting that Elon Musk and President Trump, they are going to have a breakup of relationship. That's what we were earlier predicting. But I think this prediction came out too fast. So tell me what went wrong and what should we expect next?
I think it's an ego problem. There's nothing else is wrong, and I'm sure. I think they both are trying to now mend their fences. So it means they will be together.
You think they'll be
Yes,
together?
yes. Because I mean, the one is the richest man of the world, and the other one is the richest, powerful man of the world too. And then there is always. If you don't like something, you can protest that on Twitter, but you cannot use a kind of offensive language. And that's what Musk started, and that's why President responded to him. And President still, I mean, the loser if it goes on long, then loser will be Musk, because President can shut down his lot of businesses.
Absolutely. I think I read somewhere that it was like a couple of days back that President was saying that, okay, we'll shut down even Tesla here and all that.
Not Tesla, they can shut down the whole space
Right,
thing.
right.
And that will be big loss to the Musk, So I don't think, I think what I heard that Musk is already trying through Vice President to make up the peace.
All right. So let's move on from there also to the delegations which were sent by India and Pakistan recently to multiple countries. So my question to you is like, how do you see it like getting influenced by like opinions in the US lawmakers or like common public?
I think the whole idea was diplomatic kind of exercise and to show that why India did what he did, and because of the terrorism and so forth. So that message is gone through all the lawmakers and those important decision makers, and I think that's a good results, and we don't expect more than that, because this member has probably. I don't think they got audience with the president or vice president. Probably they got audience with the member of Congress and some member of the Senate. And of course, by doing that, they already spread their words. And then, but unfortunately, none of the American big newspaper like New York Times or Washington Post or LA Times, they have not carried this story, or they carried very small, in small way in some inside page, and that was kind of unfortunate. So I think we need to also cultivate that part of the diplomacy. That when we come here, we have to be ready to make sure that USA media respond to that.
Absolutely. Now move on to our rapid fire round, and our first question is from Shilpa from New Jersey. She is asking, Trump has banned travel from 12 countries. Are we moving towards a new normal now?
So I think it will ultimately he will lift the ban, and it will be eventually going to be normalcy.
Okay. And we have Ashok from Connecticut wanting to know, breakup from politics, is it good for Elon Musk's business? Yes or no?
Yes and no, both. Because yes, because then he can pay more attention to his own business without any interference from his opponents or those who doesn't like him or doesn't like his action. And but also what his suggestions, what he did into the government is very good actually. It can save, it can reduce our deficit within 3 to 4 years. and we had a very large and very over bloated government in Washington, and a lot of wastage of the money. So that's by cutting down the government or downscaling the government, it's always a good idea.
All right. Now, next question is from Sheetal from New York, is saying Robert F. Kennedy Jr. fires his entire vaccine advisory council. Good or bad?
I think it's bad because the vaccine is very important part of the medical medicine, because vaccine can protect the populations from the very serious infectious diseases, and also not only infectious but also from the, it's very useful in the pandemic. It's already very useful in every year for the flu, because there are a lot of death occurs because of people, those who are not getting the vaccine, and they get very severe flu, severe pneumonia, and they die. So I think advisory vaccine department advisor removal is not a great idea.
All right. Neeta from California is asking, has America lost its big brother good cop role in the world order? Yes or no?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. And then we have this final question, which is from Yash from Chicago, is wanting to know, is America heading to a civil war? Yes or no?
America what? Heading?
Heading to a civil war.
No, no, absolutely not.
All right. That takes care of our rapid fire round. And I want to tell all our viewers that, if you want to follow Dr. Sudhir Parekh, you can always follow him on Facebook, and that is Dr. Parekh. And you can also go follow him on Twitter. The handle is SUDPARIKH. Please go ahead with your this week's message.
So, dear friends, dear ITV viewers, last 2 weeks was very important. There are so many things happening in the world, and our delegation of the MP came here to explain our India side of the story to the USA lawmakers and senators and even people of the USA. And that was a great thing, because that's that kind of diplomacy we want to cultivate more and more, which will can give us the both political and economical benefits. So I'm glad that our Prime Minister has done that, and three kudos to all those delegation members, as well as our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and let's wish them best, and we wish that our US-India relation gets better and better. Thank you very much, and we'll see you next time. Till then, goodbye.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Navneet Kumar Sehgal, Chairman of Prasar Bharati, presented the groundbreaking Waves app at the Consulate General of India in New York on June 6th in an event organized by Mukesh Modi of Indie Film Festival Awards with the support of Honorable Consul General Binaya S. Pradhan. The session showcased Waves as a visionary platform launched under the guidance of Honorable Prime Minister Narendra Modi, providing global free access to Indian TV, films, music, and more.
Good afternoon, everyone. India's role in global content. Waves, as we all
Chairman of Prasar Bharati, Mr. Mukesh Modi, Dr. Sudhir Parik, Ms. Simran Ahuja, Dr. Kishan Sivanand, other distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar, a very warm welcome to the Indian Consulate. As you saw the short video, which was about the event that took place last month on waves, and as well as the app that has been launched with now more than 4 million followers, which you could see can be utilized for practically everything, from sports, from news to doing shopping to watching movies or free of cost. So that was the short video on that. I'm sure the chairman could speak more about waves and the app and how Prasar Bharati is working now to take India to the global stage, not only in media but also in entertainment. But let me thank Mr. Mukesh Modi when he informed us that Chairman Prasar Bharati is here with his beautiful wife. We thought we should welcome them here. We should use this opportunity to make them interact with friends like you, so that you give your ideas to him, you also understand what is all happening in this space. Little bit about, I'll be speaking about what is happening in the bilateral corridor in India and US, and how I see the opportunity of collaboration between India and US in both media and entertainment. But I'll start with an anecdotal reference. 3 years back, I was working as our ambassador in an East African country called Tanzania. And I got a visitor, young, creative guy called Kili Paul. He's a Maasai young content creator. I didn't know much about him until I met him. We met and my office tweeted the picture of our meeting. And next day I found that was covered in all Indian newspapers on the front page. Many of my friends who had lost touch with me for 30 years somehow connected with me.
With 1.4 billion people, 140 crore people, if all of us subscribe to this Waves platform, it becomes the biggest in the world. No, another thing I must tell you is we have an English channel called DD India.
Hello.
That DD India English channel is only for to project India to abroad, all the global network. And earlier, the channel used to run through an American company called FSN. We recently stopped that and we are now running on our own. And we are recruiting people at many places. I would, as Mr. Parikh and Mr. Shah and Mr. Hali, they're all there, we would encourage content from here to be telecast on that. That DD India is our window to the globe. We basically wanted to show the Indian culture, Indian history, Indian progress, economy, technology, where it is going, so that world knows about it, world sees it. But simultaneously, what Indians are doing abroad, we must showcase that.
Where we get this wondrous platform to showcase not just our talent, but also our culture, and meet our sister queens to excel together, simply to make this world a beautiful place to live. So it is definitely a must for all of us to encourage our little ones. Gone are the days when we always thought beauty queen is not for मेरी family के लिए नहीं है, जैसे हम सबकी family सोचती हैं शुरू में. Now we are all into this world of AI, and truly things have completely changed. The word AI itself is artificial intelligence. Though it's artificial, it is still intelligent. And this is exactly what we look forward to all the future of tomorrow. Well, the youth of today is the future of tomorrow. So you definitely need to get into having the right content, gaining the right exposure, and to make sure that you have the rich culture and our rich heritage and values imbibed in you. Not just by reading books, but by living, being an example, and going ahead and showcasing that to the world. Because when you are at that platform, with all your sister queens, trying to be your best version, you just can't make, your outside face all the time. It's always the inner beauty which reflects, and that is the reason we always say, Q&A mein sab pata chal jayega. It's absolutely gonna be. We'll get to know the inner colors, the inner beauty of an individual.
I would like to, on behalf of Indian diaspora, I would like to congratulate our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji and his administration. I would like to congratulate Chairman Sigal for this is a great initiative. And as we all know, the DD is the largest TV channel in the world with the 43 or 45 different languages in that DD channel. And so it's a big bouquet of the culture, arts, movies, documentaries and so forth. And we'll be very happy to promote this thing through our Parikholwal media in the North America, including Canada, USA and Caribbean.
The Bhakti Center's event on yoga and Vedic wisdom featured H.H. Radhanath Swami and Gauranga Das, uniting spiritual and civic leaders. The evening marked the New York City launch of the Zero Hunger campaign, supported by CG Binaya S. Pradhan, Chef Vikas Khanna and Dr. Sudhir Parekh.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram, Hare Hare. Hare, we should appreciate the fact that people from across the world are visiting Bharat to go deep into the wisdom of the Vedic literatures and the yoga culture. And one such personality who's sitting with us from New York City, His Grace Kaustuba Prabhu, is the co-founder along with Raghunath of Wisdom of the Sages, a fantastic morning podcast where I find it unbelievable that every single morning at 5 a.m. there are more than 100 to 200 New Yorkers logged in to hear the Srimad Bhagavatam Puran. That requires a huge round of applause. So sometimes I tell Kaustubh Prabhu that your schedule beats even that of the brahmacharis in the ashram every single day. So that shows that the wisdom and culture is in so much of demand that when people really understand what it is, they are willing to make huge sacrifices in their lifestyle and schedule. So over to you, Kaustubha Prabhu, for sharing your thoughts on this topic.
Thank you so much, Guru Prabhu. Thank you.
Health and well-being is very much dependent on how we intelligently balance our lives. We sleep, we eat, we get exercise, we work in the office, we have families, we have social obligations. These are all dharmas, all of the different requirements for our own body, for our family, and for the society around us. And we do require to balance. But essentially, we are an eternal soul. And if we don't have time to nourish the soul, then our whole life is off balance. So to make that time, and it begins when we associate with people who understand the value of nourishing the soul and balancing our lives with that principle that can infuse everything else we do with love, with compassion, and with actual meaning and happiness. That is satsang. Satsang is where we keep the company of people who are enlightening us. And it's foundational. We understand the importance of our spiritual needs in life. And if we understand the importance, then we'll apply our intelligence to give that time. Satsang, sadhana, means giving some time every day for our spiritual practice. And then sadachar, with the strength we gain from spiritual people and spiritual practice, we could live with character, we could live with integrity, infuse everything we do. So the beginning really is, we must understand the need to balance, and then the process of how we can do it. And where there is a will, there is a way. Srila Prabhupada, our Guru, used to say that impossible is a word in a fool's dictionary. If we really understand the importance of balancing our lives, spiritually, socially, economically, domestically, then there is a way, and that will give our life meaning, and it will give us, in our life, the power to give meaning to others.
I made something very interesting today. I learned it in Mathura, and there's a widow's ashram there. So there's a makhan malai, which is like a, Lord Krishna is so associated to butter. So I created a homemade butter with mishri and saffron, and then I made a ghevar. What is this social talk? I have to tell the dish which I brought, and I'm more passionate. I'm very passionate about it. I spent all night doing that dish because I was very excited to be here. And after everyone has their own religion, I feel. My religion is my mom and food. I divide my life between two religions. And on top of that, we got Langda mango from India. I made a mousse out of that, and that is there. And then we have a Kanhaiya rose petals, which has come from Mathura, and which is sprinkled on top. I feel as people living here, we have an opportunity. You also are very privileged, and some days it breaks your heart that you are in a position where you can help malnutrition or India back home. And this hunger is not just the hunger of food. I was born and raised in Amritsar, where they define how to feed each other. That's a pure definition of that everybody contributes, no one sleeps hungry. I come from that value system where my grandmother took me to Golden Temple. Every day, I miss the school just to be there and cook there. I feel this success sometimes, this entitlement sometimes feels empty, that if you cannot support back home. Every day, everybody would applaud and create all those lists which are so like transient, top and not. But I feel that that mission remains so focused in my heart. And I'm proud that the restaurant, when I was signing up the lease, I saw Bhakti Center, I said, this is the place my sister would have loved. Thank you so much. You've always been one of the biggest supporters and unifiers of society. I think unity is the most powerful way to support each other. And bringing everybody under one roof, I'm so honored that I'm on the stage. I hope you guys will enjoy my speech.
Like I said, I don't have anything to add to the knowledge, but I have questions. And I'm so blessed that I am here in august company of such distinguished people who have answers to those questions. And I'll conclude by something which is now quite fashionable, that is artificial intelligence. So I went to ChatGPT. I said, how does one get happiness? I'm sure if you type that in ChatGPT or Perplexity, you will get a similar question, and the reply would be something similar. It would give you kind of the usual reply that we know. That got your screen time to do meditation to various things that we already know. I was wondering that why in ChatGPT or in Perplexity we don't get a reference to Vedic knowledge. Why doesn't it say that as per Upanishad this is a solution to get peace? Why doesn't it say that as for Bhagavad Gita this is how you should approach to life, so that life would be probably more meaningful, you would be content, and like His Holiness was mentioning about my origin from Odisha, I feel that people in my state are generally content with smaller things in life. They are not very ambitious, not very aggressive. People say that that's the reason why we're not very rich also. But nonetheless, there are other brighter sides to remaining content. But I was wondering as to why in ChatGPT there is no reference to Bhagavad Gita, there is no reference to Upanishad. I see, people who are technologically quite, they're leaders of world of technology. I thought, this more like a reference to people like you, who should think about it, that how do we bring in those references to ChatGPT, because that is, end of the day, used by millions and millions of youngsters to understand, replies to such difficult questions of life. But let me conclude with that. Thank you very much.
And whenever I come to a place like this, there is always positive vibration. And really thank you very much for inviting me. And I also thank you everyone, particularly our Ambassador Vinaya Pradhanji for a great kind of description of the Vedic thing. And Swamiji, I just thank you for your blessing. And I'm also, I'm a senior advisor to Akshay Patra in India, which we feed 2 million pot meals every day. And of course, ISKCON is a part of that Akshay Patra. And we started at Akshay Patra about 25 years ago in USA, in New York. And I know that now you are starting Akshay Patra here in Harlem and Brooklyn and wherever is necessary. So it's not only for food, for hungry, but that food can use family to do something better thing, for kids to send them for education, and that's the real advantage of Akshay Patra. And when you educate a child, because he doesn't have to worry about the food, so goes to get the food, gets educated, and then it uplifts the whole family. So I think your initiative is great. Particularly my media group will be for your support, and let us know what I can do for the Akshay Patra. Yes, and then we'll remove the hunger from the New York, and I will be very happy to do that. And so always my support is with your center, Bhakti Center here, and let me know how can we help you out. And thank you very much for inviting me, and thank you Swamiji for your blessing.
The Vedic literatures and the entire culture that personifies it is to present a simple principle: Sarve Sukhano Bhavantu. Let everyone be happy. People are spiritually undernourished and starving due to a lack of authentic spiritual nourishment. Let us all together unite in these principles of bhakti, Sanatana Dharma, and share the wisdom of Krishna and Bhagavad Gita and the essence of all the other great scriptures of the world to truly uplift humanity. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Jill Mill America and ITV Gold launched Aram, a cultural celebration and debut of I Love Arts, curated by Professor Anup Bhargav. The event showcased Indian classical arts and poetry by Professor Anamika, Guru Archana Joglekar, and many talented artists and singers, with guests including Padma Shri Dr. Sudhir Parekh.
हम आम को आम, खास को खास लिखेंगे, वक्त के दरिया पे सच का एहसास लिखेंगे, गीत गजल लिखेंगे हम पे लिखने वाले, जो हमने कलम उठाई तो इतिहास लिखेंगे। इतिहास रच रहा है, बन रहा है, और हम प्रयास कर रहे हैं कि उस इतिहास का हिस्सा बने। मैं जानती हूँ कि बहुत छोटी सी ये मेरी कोशिश, योगदान, एक गिलहरी प्रयास है, लेकिन गिलहरी ने ही किया था राम का साथ, दिया था साथ, तभी राम सेतु बन पाया था। दुआ कीजिए, प्रार्थना कीजिए, अर्चना कीजिए, भविष्य में हमारा जो भावी युवा पीढ़ी है, नेक्स्ट जनरेशन है, हमें याद करेंगे कि हमने बनाया था वो मंच जो आगे चलकर अमेरिका का बॉलीवुड बना था। एक बार तालियां जोरदार अनूप जी के प्रयास के लिए।
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अर्चना। अर्चना हमारी एक छोटी बहन है जिसे हमने विशेष रूप से कैलिफोर्निया से बुलाया है। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद अर्चना। तो कहाँ से बात शुरू की जाए? पूरी धरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है। पूरी धरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है, पर तू जरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है। और चलने को एक पांव से भी चल रहे हैं लोग, चलने को एक पांव से भी चल रहे हैं लोग, दूसरा भी साथ दे तो और बात है। तो अगर मैं एक पंक्ति में कहूं तो आज हमारा ये जो प्रयास है वो दूसरे पांव को साथ चलने का आग्रह है, और मैं कहूंगा जिद है हमारी कि ये दूसरा पांव भी हमारे साथ साथ चले। हम जब भारत से यहां पर आते हैं तो अलग अलग भागों में बंट जाते हैं। बंगाली एसोसिएशन बनती है, राजस्थान एसोसिएशन बनती है, गुजरात एसोसिएशन बनती है, और इन सबके बनने का एक अच्छा कारण है, क्योंकि अगर हमें रविंद्र संगीत की बात करनी है तो उसके लिए बंगाली एसोसिएशन की जरूरत है। लेकिन हमारा ये भी सोचना है कि जब हम लोग एक साथ मिलकर कुछ काम करेंगे तो हम कुछ ज्यादा हासिल कर सकते हैं।
भाव भवे, हर प्राणी स्वस्थ, सफल, सुखी रहे, हर प्राणी निरामय यानी निरोगी रहे, सबके घर में सुख समृद्धि और संपन्नता आए।
भाइयों और बहनों और our family members, really it's a great initiative. 2 months ago, Anupji came to me in our studio, TV studio, and he was kind of proposing this idea that there are so many organizations, as he said, everyone does excellent programming, they are promoting their own culture, Bengali, Gujarati, Punjabi, and so forth. But now we are in America, so we have to empower our second generation for culture, art, and the richness of the India. And that only can be done if we put the platform together where we can invite everyone, every association, every culture, every arts, and every sanskar. Then we can be successful. So how to do it? We were discussing that. And I think Anupji came with the idea, let's put one name. And we decided a name called I Love Art. That's the name of this platform, I Love Arts. Means those who love arts, doesn't matter what form, they are most welcome to attend and perform in this program. Number 2, it should be very structured thing. It means second Sunday of every month. So if you are free, not doing anything else, not watching Netflix or TV, you are welcome. So that way everybody remembers that, okay, second Sunday, 4 to 6, we have to go to I Love Arts. And that is a real, and that is a real way of doing putting in the action this kind of thing, because this kind of thing we start and then it falls apart, as we know in last 40, 50 years. So this is a way to do it, and I'm very pleased to offer our auditorium of ITV Gold studio every second Sunday. It will be always available. We'll never give it to anyone else. Doesn't matter how much they pay, but it's only belong to I Love Arts. So let's enjoy. And this is the only way to empower our second generation about the Indian art. And that is my motto. And I'm sure Anupji and all of you agree on that, because we all are in 40s, 50s. We may depart from here in 20, 30 years, but our children has to come in this program
and learn and show and do the showcasing of their art, talent, and their liking. So thank you. Welcome everyone.
2, 3. I love us. Let's build community. बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है. मैं सभी से अपने अनुभव पूछना चाहूंगी. तो पहले आप बताइए आपको कैसा लग रहा है.
नहीं जी, बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है और ये एक अच्छे कार्यक्रम की शुरुआत है जिसमें सभी विधाएं जो कला की हैं, साहित्य है, नृत्य है, संगीत है, नाटक है, सभी को एक ही मंच पर ला करके और एक स्तरीय कार्यक्रम प्रस्तुत करने की और उसको लगातार करते रहने की ये जो जिद है, इसका वास्तव में स्वागत किया जाना चाहिए.
बहुत ही सुंदर ख्याल है. तो आइए इस आरंभ के शुभारंभ के लिए हम और बातें पूछते हैं. इसके बारे में आपकी क्या राय है?
बिल्कुल, मेरा मानना है कि सबसे बड़ी बात है कि देश से दूर परदेश में रह के भी हम अपनी खुशबू, महक, जो इत्र, जो एक जोश है भारतीयता का, उसके लिए मैं अपनी पंक्तियां अर्पित करना चाहती हूँ. माथे पर हिंदी की बिंदी, इंग्लिश का सम्मान भी है, रोम रोम में रामायण है मगर बाइबल ज्ञान भी है. नए जमाने के हैं लेकिन संस्कारों का ध्यान भी है. अमेरिका से पहले मेरे दिल में हिंदुस्तान भी है.
बहुत सुंदर, बहुत सुंदर.
बहुत धन्यवाद, शुक्रिया आप सबका.
तो इन्हीं पंक्तियों के साथ में आइए आगे चलते हैं और लोगों की बातें जाने. आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है?
क्योंकि अर्चना जी ने इतनी लंबी लंबी पंक्तियां कह दी हैं, मैं सिर्फ 2 शब्द कहूंगी, अति उत्तम.
क्या बात,
बहुत सुंदर. अति उत्तम के बाद में चलिए हम अपने पसंदीदा सतीश जी से पूछते हैं, आपकी क्या राय है?
धन्यवाद. राय क्या है, इससे बढ़िया और क्या हो सकता है. भारतीय संस्कृति और उसके जो भी हमारे उसका सब प्रचलन करना. अनुभव में इसके बारे में कई बार बात कर चुका हूँ पहले भी और ये कि बहुत ही आनंद आ रहा है कि वास्तव में हम ये कार्यक्रम कर रहे हैं. बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सभी का, आप लोग जो सब जुड़े हुए हैं इससे, और इसी तरह हमारा साथ देते रहिएगा तो और भी हम कार्यक्रम करेंगे. धन्यवाद.
जी बिल्कुल सही कहा. जब अनूप जी हमारे साथ में तो अपने आप से अनूप तो होना ही है जिन्होंने अपना नाम सार्थक किया है. आइए नीलम जी से उनके बारे में जाने और बातें.
भारतीय संस्कृति को साथ लाने का और आगे बढ़ाने का इससे अच्छा कोई उपाय नहीं है. मुझे बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है एंड आई फील वेरी प्राउड ऑफ इट.
धन्यवाद नीलम जी. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. बेला जी क्या कहना चाहती हैं?
वेल, आरंभ का शुभारंभ, इससे अच्छी क्या बात हो सकती है. बेस्ट विशेस फॉर द फर्स्ट वन एंड मैनी मैनी मोर टू कम. वी आर हियर टू सपोर्ट इट.
धन्यवाद बेला जी. मैं सरिता निमानी बस सिर्फ यही कहना चाहूँगी, ये जो हमारा आरंभ का शुभारंभ है, जो एक अनूप जी ने छोटा सा बीज बोया है सभी को मंच पर एक साथ लाने के लिए, सभी कलाओं को एक साथ में लाने के लिए, लेट्स बिल्ड द कम्युनिटी, वो उनका सफल रहे और हम सब उनका साथ दें. बस यही सबसे शुभकामनाएं हैं. धन्यवाद.
Gauranga Das delivered a soul-stirring talk on the 4 pillars of Dharma at ITV Gold Auditorium, Edison, on June 3rd.
Namaskar and thank you for this lecture today. My takeaway from today's lecture is when you spoke about Arjuna's conflicting identities. So if we take that in today's scenario, what are the conflicting identities for an individual today? And also you mentioned about the power of tolerance for Shatrughna, for Bharat and Shatrughna, calm. So is there a limit today that we can practice that tolerance, but after a limit we have to say, no, we have to take an action? Or should we just be in that mode?
Yeah, first I'll take the tolerance one. Arjuna wanted to be tolerant and forgiving. He said, Krishna, we should forgive the Kauravas. Krishna said, to hell with your idea. Kill them. So Arjuna wanted to be tolerant and forgiving. Krishna spoke the Gita to make Arjuna fight against injustice. So Gita is pro-peace. Gita is not pro-injustice. And therefore, if one sees injustice, faces injustice, one has to fight it out. So when it comes to your first question, that in today's scenario, all of us are faced with multiple identities. So when you have identity of a mother, your child is growing up, they are dependent on you, and then suddenly they go to college, they get married, and then your identity as a mother will be under question because they are no longer dependent and they are doing their own thing. Somebody has an identity that I went to the ICU of a hospital and I met one of my friends who was in heart attack, and I asked, why did you get a heart attack? He said there was recent appraisals and somebody younger to me was given promotion above me. He was made my boss. So that promotion affected him so much, he got a heart attack because his identity was affected. So therefore, somebody says, I am the CEO, next day he gets sacked from the company. And then suddenly he looks at his card says CEO. But on the other hand, the mail he has received says you are out. So there is a gap between the identity and the reality. So all these are conflicting scenarios. Therefore, Adhyatmik Gyan means to be fixed in one's identity as Atma. आत्मा के उस स्वरूप को कोई नहीं बदल सकता. That gives the strength, that gives the confidence, that gives the conviction that no matter what happens in the day today, you cannot take away my power of serving my ईश्वर. हमारे ईश्वर सनातन हैं, हम सनातन हैं और हमारे ईश्वर के प्रति हमारा सेवा भाव सनातन है. ये है सनातन धर्म. So when the whole of Bharat was practicing Sanatan Dharma seriously, they took that relationship seriously, and therefore other kinds of prosperity and adversity did not affect them.
And that's a wrap on Diaspora Connect. Send community news to events at itvgold.com or pia@itvgold.com. Follow ITV Gold on Facebook. Subscribe on YouTube and grab Desi Talk in the Tri-State or Chicago. Read News India Times at newsindiatimes.com or call 212-675-7515 to subscribe. This is Pia Jyoti Kachru signing off.